Welcome to the T-Pac Arcade. Today's game is Berzerk for the Atari 2600. In this 1982 elimination action game from Atari, you're trapped in an endless gauntlet of mazes on the planet, wait for it, Mazion. And the goal here is just to survive as long as you can against the resident robot Auto-Mazions and their ruthless master, Evil Otto. That's right, there's no winning in Berzerk, just a futile struggle prolonging your ultimate demise at the hands of robot lasers or a bouncing smiley face. Did I mention that Evil Otto is a bouncing smiley face? Because he's literally a bouncing smiley face. Anyway, the whole maze thing is a bit misleading, because Berzerk isn't a maze game. It's a top-down action game. You're thrown into a series of single-screen playfields with electric barriers and randomly placed robots, and the goal is to score points by taking out as many of them as possible before escaping to the next room through an opening in one of the walls. And it doesn't matter which opening you run through, because there's no correct path to reach the end of the maze or anything. Like I said, it's not a maze game, and there is no true escape, only lasers and death. And high scores if that's any consolation. 50 points per destroyed robot, plus an extra 10 each if you clear them all from a single room. And luckily, the Auto-Mazions aren't too bright, because sometimes they'll destroy each other with their laser guns, or even themselves by running into an electric barrier. But those two hazards are just as lethal to you, so it's best to stay out of range. The robots can shoot in all cardinal directions, and their fire gets faster and faster with each successive screen. So after a while, you can't really dodge their lasers, and you have to strategically zap them from a diagonal where you're out of reach, which is your only true advantage against these hordes of lethal walking trash bins. 8-way fire. Problem is, you can't always camp out to safely set up those angle shots, because if you linger on any screen for too long, Evil Otto will materialize and bounce on over to happily put you out of your misery with an expression that reads the polar opposite of misery and is all the more threatening as a result. It's an odd subversion of your mental faculties to start associating smiley faces with mortal dread, but here we are. Not that you always have to fear Evil Otto. Berzerk offers 12 different game variations, and while plenty of them feature the invincible grinning murderer, several allow you the concession of blasting him away for a few seconds before he reappears, and some even let you play the game with only the robots. The other factors that change between game modes are how many points it takes to earn a bonus life, and whether or not the robots shoot at you, which provides quite a range in this game's difficulty. You can go all the way from the kids meal settings of no Evil Otto, bonus lives every 1,000 points, and disarmed robots, to the I just wet myself settings of invincible Evil Otto, no bonus lives ever, and robots whose programming consists of one directive and one directive only, blasting your face in the face. I had high hopes of getting at least a 5-digit score on each setting, but it didn't take long to realize just how bad I am at this game and convince myself that 5,000 points was respectable enough. But to be fair, I managed to bump that all the way up to 50,000 on the default setting, since I could earn extra lives and never had to worry about Evil Otto. It's an interesting trade-off, all things considered. The different modes really affect your gameplay strategy, where one may allow you to camp out and zap every robot, another will force you to run from screen to screen as fast as possible, just picking off whichever Auto-Mazions are most conveniently placed. Not that it's a huge loss to miss out on the bonus for destroying every enemy in a room, though, because if I could change one thing in this game, it would be the scoring. A measly 10 bonus points per robot for clearing a whole room doesn't provide much of a risk-reward incentive when zapping a single enemy on the next screen basically nets the same score increase. Oh, and if I could change one other thing here, I'd make the robot placement a little less randomized. See, each room is populated with a variable number of enemies scattered pretty much anywhere, which means every once in a while, one will spawn in practically the same exact spot as you, and you'll die instantly. I mean, the randomization makes it so that each playthrough of Berzerk is always fresh and interesting, but it also makes it so that each playthrough of Berzerk is always unfair, too. Even still, my favorite part of Berzerk is the little ways you can turn that unfairness to your advantage, like how you can strategically guide Evil Otto to destroy some robots for you as you run to the exit, and how you can sometimes warp your bullets to the other side of the screen by shooting into an exit at close range. The game manual pretends this is some kind of built-in attack feature, but I'm pretty sure it's just a glitch that the developers thought was cool. And to be fair, I think it's cool too. There's a lot that I could say about the aesthetics of Berzerk, but I'll leave it at this. They're perfect. The Auto-Mazion sprites are some of the most iconic pixel art ever created, the laser blast and electric shock sound bites are the epitome of 8-bit video game audio, and that smiley face harbinger of death Evil Otto is goofy and memorable in the best way possible. Overall, Berzerk falls into that all-too-familiar category of games I'm terrible at, but still love unconditionally. I may be getting zapped into oblivion, but for whatever reason, the expression on my face matches Evil Otto's, because I'm just having so much fun anyway.